Hello, my name is Viviana Pedraza, and I'm going to be doing my presentation on social psychology. I'm going to be going over definitions, phenomenons, and real-world examples. To begin, what is social psychology? It can be defined as the field of psychology that studies how individuals think and behave in social contexts. It depicts ways in which people are influenced by and interact with the people around them. Social psychology also explores a wide range of topics, such as social influence, which is how others affect our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, group settings, which is how people behave in groups and how participating in a group can influence individual behavior, prejudice and discrimination, which studies biases, stereotypes, and discriminatory behavior, and how they develop and impact society, and relationships, which can depict the dynamics of friendships, romantic relationships, and other social interactions. So let's delve a little deeper into how group settings affect our behavior and examine the dangers of the bystander effect. But wait, what is the bystander effect? It can be defined as a social psychological phenomenon in which it is a tendency for people to be less likely to offer help to a person in an emergency situation when other people are present. Essentially, the more people around an accident, the less likely a person is to intervene and assist a person in crisis. This occurs because people assume someone else will take the initiative to call for help. When one complies with the bystander effect, that person is essentially saying, I don't have to call for help. Other people are also around me, someone else will call. This phenomenon is due to various social psychological processes, such as social norms, conformity, and normative social influence. Social norms can be defined as the unwritten rules that define what is acceptable and appropriate behavior in a group or community. Conformity is the act of changing one's opinions, behaviors, or perceptions to align with a group's norms. To conform is to act in a way that aligns with the norms of society. And normative social influence is the influence resulting from a person's desire to gain approval or avoid disapproval. The bystander effect is an example of how group settings can negatively affect how we act. As proven, group settings have a significant influence on our behavior, often leading us to act in ways that we might not in an individual environment. For example, if you and another person are in an elevator and they suddenly fall over to a heart attack, obviously you're going to feel an urgency to help, or at least you should. Because you are not in a huge group setting, there is no way to assume someone else will take action. A real-world example of the bystander effect is the Kitty Genovese case. Kitty Genovese was a 28-year-old woman who was followed to her apartment on her way home from work one night. She was approached by a man with a knife and was promptly stabbed before her attacker fled the scene. He later returned 2 separate times. He stabbed her, raped her, and robbed her. Kitty ultimately died while her neighbors watched and listened to the attack and her calls for help. Of those witnesses, only one person called for help within the 35 minutes that her attack took place. The case of Kitty Genovese is one that is often cited as a primary example of the bystander effect. The way she was attacked while many people witnessed provides a great example as to how her neighbors participated in the bystander effect. One of her neighbors might have thought that they didn't need to call for help as they assumed somebody else would. This effect is rooted in the diffusion of responsibility. The more bystanders there are, the less personal responsibility each one feels to take action. I hope my presentation did a good job at explaining social psychology and how that might look in society. Thank you so much.